You wake up feeling tired, even after a full night of sleep. Not physically tired, something deeper. You're tired of maintaining the act, tired of keeping up appearances, tired of saying the right thing, reacting the right way, being the version of yourself that everyone else expects. And somewhere between brushing your teeth and getting dressed, you pause in front of the mirror. For a split second, you stare at the person looking back at you, and something feels unfamiliar. Not because your face has changed, but because the expression on it, the heaviness in your eyes, the quiet exhaustion in your posture, it all belongs to someone playing a role they never truly wanted. Someone performing a character they're deeply tired of. Someone who has been standing on a stage for so long, they've forgotten what it feels like to exist off of it. And that moment of recognition, that brief flash where you see yourself as you truly are, instead of who you pretend to be, that's exactly why this message reached you. Because you're about to become unrecognizable, not to other people, to yourself. And once you understand what I'm about to reveal, there's no returning to the performance. Let's talk about what's actually happening. At some point in your life, you were cast into a role you never auditioned for. You were handed a script you never wrote. And somehow, you were expected to play a character that never truly fit you. Maybe the victim, the one who always needs saving, the broken one who's constantly healing, the people pleaser who can't say no, or the strong one who never asks for help. Whatever the role was, you've been performing it for so long, repeating the same lines, wearing the same costume, moving through the same scenes, that you forgot it was ever a performance. You started believing you were the character, and everyone around you became comfortable with it. They learned their lines based on yours. They know how you're supposed to react. They rely on the predictability of your role. And now, you feel trapped, because the performance is draining the life out of you. But breaking character feels like betrayal, like you're letting people down, like you're exposing yourself as fake. So you keep performing, you keep repeating the lines, you keep wearing the costume, even though every day it fits a little worse, even though every scene drains you a little more, even though deep down you feel like you're slowly suffocating under the stage lights. Here's something no one tells you about the roles we play. We rarely choose them consciously. Most of them were assigned to us during childhood, during trauma, during moments when acting a certain way helped us survive. Maybe you learned that being the victim earned you sympathy when nothing else did. Maybe you discovered that being the strong one kept people from abandoning you. Maybe you learned that being broken gave you permission to stay safe and avoid risks. And at the time, those roles served a purpose. They protected you. They helped you survive situations where being your true self felt dangerous. But you're not in those situations anymore. You're not that powerless child. You're not unsafe. You're not helpless. And yet, you're still performing the role, still repeating the victim's lines, still wearing the costume of the broken person, still stepping onto the stage every single day to play a character that no longer represents who you truly are. And the hardest part? You've gotten so good at the performance that even you started believing it. Now let's look at how this shows up in everyday life. Someone disrespects you, crosses a boundary, takes advantage of you, and instead of responding as your authentic self, you respond as the character. The victim says, "Of course this happened to me. It always does." The people pleaser says, "It's okay. I don't mind." The broken one whispers, "I probably deserved it anyway." But those thoughts aren't truly yours. They're lines written long ago, by circumstances, by fear, by old survival patterns, and you deliver them automatically, right on cue. Then afterward, you feel that sinking feeling in your chest, because somewhere inside you, you know you just performed instead of lived. Part of you knows the real version of you wouldn't have accepted that, wouldn't have minimized it, wouldn't have stayed silent, but the character demands it, the script requires it, the audience expects it, so you swallow your truth and deliver the line. And every time you choose the performance over authenticity, you drift a little farther away from yourself, until one day you look in the mirror and realize you don't know who you are without the costume. Here's the part that might sting a little. You're not trapped in this role. You're choosing it now, every single day. I know that sounds harsh. I know a part of you immediately wants to defend yourself, to say it isn't that simple. And maybe, once upon a time, it truly wasn't. Maybe years ago you had no choice. Maybe the role began as survival. Maybe the character you became was the only way you knew how to stay safe, to stay loved, to stay accepted. Maybe being the victim earned you compassion when no one was listening to your pain. Maybe being the people pleaser kept the peace in a chaotic home. Maybe being the strong one was the only way to keep everyone else from falling apart. Back then, the role served a purpose. It protected you. It helped you navigate situations that were bigger than you, situations where being your authentic self felt dangerous. But today it's something different. Today it's familiarity, comfort, predictability, because stepping out of character comes with a cost, and that cost is uncomfortable. The audience gets restless. The people who became used to your performance suddenly don't know how to respond. Your family expects the people pleaser. Your friends expect the victim. Your partner expects the broken version of you who needs fixing. They've grown comfortable interacting with the character. They know their lines. They know how the story is supposed to go. And when you stop playing that role, they panic. They pressure you to go back. They question you. They tell you you've changed. They say things like, "You're not the same person anymore," or "You're being selfish," or even, "What happened to you?" But what they really mean is this: why aren't you playing the character we understand? They try to pull you back into the script. They make you feel guilty. And that guilt, that quiet fear of losing people who only ever knew the performance, is what keeps you standing on that stage. Even when the role is slowly destroying you. Even when you hate the character you've been playing. Even when every performance pulls you farther and farther away from your true self. So let's slow down for a moment and imagine something. Imagine you're an actor. Not just any actor, but someone who has been performing the exact same role every single day for years. The same costume, the same lines, the same character, day after day, scene after scene, no break, no vacation, no moment where you get to step away and simply exist as yourself. You wake up in the morning, you put on the costume, you walk onto the stage, and the performance begins. 8 hours, 10 hours, maybe even 16 hours. The audience applauds. They love the performance. They praise you. They tell you how amazing you are at playing the role. They say things like, "You're so strong. You're always so kind. You never complain. You're always there for everyone." And from the outside, it looks beautiful. It looks admirable. But backstage, when the lights finally go dark, when the applause fades, when you're alone in the dressing room, something inside you feels empty, drained, exhausted, because performing nonstop, never breaking character, never stepping off the stage, isn't living. It's slowly dying in costume, and somewhere deep inside, you know it. You feel it every time the curtain rises again, but the alternative terrifies you. Walking into the light as your real self, without the script, without the costume, without the character, without knowing if anyone will still applaud, without knowing if anyone will even recognize you. So you keep performing, you keep saying the lines, you keep pretending, until one day, something shifts, something cracks. The costume no longer fits the way it used to. The lines start feeling strange when they leave your mouth. The character you've been playing suddenly feels foreign, and that's when it hits you. You can't keep doing this. Not for another year, not for another month, maybe not even for another day. You're done. The performance is over. Not because you plan to end it, but because your soul refused to continue. Because the real version of you, the one buried underneath years of expectations, finally stood up and said, "Enough." And if something inside you just reacted to that word, if you felt that quiet recognition deep in your chest, that's not accidental. This message didn't reach you by coincidence. It's a signal. Your performance contract is ending. The role you've been playing, the character you've been maintaining, the version of yourself that everyone got comfortable watching, has reached its expiration point. Not because of timing, not because of circumstances, but because you've outgrown it so completely that continuing the performance would destroy you. Your authentic self is demanding to be seen. And when you finally step off that stage, something fascinating happens. At first, the audience panics. The people who benefited from your old role suddenly feel uncomfortable. They don't understand the new version of you. They call you selfish. They call you difficult. They say you've changed. And the truth is, you have. Because you're no longer performing a character that made their lives easier. You're being yourself. And your authentic self doesn't owe anyone a performance. Now, for a while, you might feel lost. Without the script, without the costume, without the familiar role you've been playing for years. You'll have to rediscover who you really are, what you want, what you feel, what you actually think. That process can feel messy, confusing, even frightening, but it's also the most alive you'll ever feel. Because for the first time in years, maybe even decades, you're not pretending, you're not performing, you're simply existing. No costume, no script, no apology. And here's something interesting. If this message resonates with you, if you can feel that quiet shift happening inside you right now, write 3 simple words in the comments. I'm done performing. Not for me, for yourself. Because sometimes the moment you declare something out loud, even in a small way, that's the moment the old character finally loses its power. And here's the deeper truth. The people who truly matter in your life will still be there. Not because they love the character, but because they always saw you underneath the costume. They were simply waiting for you to see yourself. And the people who disappear when the performance ends, they were never connected to you. They were attached to the role. But you're not that character anymore. You're not the victim waiting to be rescued. You're not the people pleaser who can't say no. You're not the broken version of yourself who stays small to keep others comfortable. You're the actor who finally walked off the stage. The one who removed the costume. The one who refused to keep speaking lines that were never theirs. And the version of you that returns to life now won't be performing for anyone. Not for your family, not for your friends, not for strangers, not even for yourself. Because that version of you only owes one thing: the truth. The raw, unscripted, unapologetic truth of who you are when no one is watching, when no one is applauding, when no one expects anything at all. And that truth is about to make you completely, powerfully, beautifully unrecognizable. The curtain has fallen, the lights have gone dark, and the character everyone got comfortable with has exited the stage. The person who walks back into your life now won't be performing ever again.